So the technological tool I am evaluating is BrainPop. BrainPop is a tool for students and teachers. This is the main BrainPop page, and there's two different BrainPops. There's this BrainPop that is for older children, 4th grade and up. As you see on the side, there are all the different subjects that they learn, and if you click on them, it brings you to different units in science you can learn about. And then if you go back, you scroll down to the bottom, there are other pages to go to. There is a BrainPop Junior, which is for kindergarten through 3rd grade. Then there is BrainPop for English language learners. So I'm going to click on the BrainPop Junior to show you, since I'm looking at this to see how we could use it for pre-K through 4th grade. This is the BrainPop Junior, and as you can see, just like the other page, is that all the subjects are on the side here. And it's a little bit easier to use since it's for kindergarten through 3rd. And one of the things about BrainPop Junior is that if you scroll over a subject,
science,
it tells you what it is.
Health.
So it makes it easier for the younger kids that if they're even just still starting to read, that they can see that it says science, but also they're hearing it. And then I'm going to click on science, and then it brings up the different content in the science area. That they would learn about. I'm going to click on animals, and it brings up even more, like all the different things that they could be learning about animals. So butterflies, classifying animals, the food chain, hibernation. So I'll click on butterflies.
Butterflies.
And it brings up a bunch of different activities they can do. The one thing I realized while looking at this is that I can't see everything on here because not everything's free on BrainPop. That you have to have a paid subscription. That if I try to play the video, it tells me I need to log in. But if I go back to the main page and scroll down, there is a free stuff page. So I can, and then there's still a lot of different categories. I'll click on
classifying.
It brings up again. There's always a video to go with it, and then there's different activities.
Aren't you excited for a trip to the zoo? I can't wait to see all my favorite animals. How do we classify animals? When you classify, you sort things into groups.
So as you see from the video that there are more of like cartoon characters for the young kids, and not only is it a visual, but also like you can hear them, but then also at the bottom they have the words, so it can reach different kind of learners, because children learn differently. And I know it talked about in that multimedia about how it's more effective if there's auditory that they can hear the presentation but also see it. So then you scroll down and there are other activities to go along with classifying animals. There are games. So there's a food chain game or a Constructosaurus game. So the food chain game have to drag the parts of the food chain that's in order. So burn. And then, if you're right, you go on. And then there's also, you can make a map.
Make a
That you can drag images. And there's things like, how do we classify animals? Or what are mammals? And then you could find different images, right? And make a map to show your learning. There's also other activities. This one, I guess, there's some jokes about the topic. Or you can write about the topic and write about it.
write a
Or there are quizzes
easy.
to, I guess, to test the knowledge that teachers could use before or after they introduce the topic.
Start.
So, what kind of animal is a zebra? And then they would pick their answer and then tell them if they're correct or not. And there's also a section for teachers that if they need lesson ideas, there are different lessons that go along with each topic. And then for the standards, I made a little PowerPoint just to for the standards I said that it incorporates empowered learner, that students are taking an active role in choosing, achieving, and demonstrating competency in their learning goals by choosing what activity they want to do on the site. They also receive feedback to improve their learning from the activities and quizzes they do. And that knowledge constructor, that they curate information from digital resources using a variety of tools and methods to create collections of artifacts that demonstrate meaningful connections. And they build knowledge by exploring real-world issues and problems. They can explore different topics and subjects about the real world, like the animals I showed you, or there's things like space. And creative communicator, communicate ideas clearly and effectively by creating or using a variety of digital objects such as visualizations, models, or simulations. So on the website there are the videos. They can make those maps like I showed you. And then for the privacy settings, if you go down to the bottom, there's the privacy page. And BrainPop complies with FERPA and COPPA. And one thing is that if they're under 13, a parent's permission is needed before using the website. And then it talks about the info that is collected. That they collect, like when subscribing, your name, email address, affiliation with a school or district, a phone number, and billing info. And then a subscriber's create a username and a password. This is how it's talking about using My BrainPop. That schools and districts maintain ownership of the student records. That the teacher can only access My BrainPop with an educator code, and that the students use the same code provided by their teachers. And then there's the FERPA compliance, and then how they share information that They may provide personally identifiable information to their partners, business affiliates, and third-party service providers who work for BrainPop. But they only use this information for sole purpose of promoting services, like providing services. They do not have the right to share the information, and they do not share info for marketing or advertising. And it talks about how they store that they can store teachers can store the information from what the kids did in BrainPop. No, that is BrainPop.